Hey guys, back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at some leak stuff coming to Pumpkin Fest, so let's get into the video. Alright, so we had a bunch of new stuff added into the game for Pumpkin Fest, along with some items, some pets, and then we also had some leaks. So let's go ahead and look at those. So we're going to start off with some of the stuff that was already into the game, or added into the game. I don't think I can show all of it. Some of it seems to crash some of the items seem to sort of crash my game, so I can't show them all. But we can look at some of them. We're going to start down here with the placeholder acorn. So you've probably seen this before. It doesn't have a description, but this is what the mount's going to look like. Nothing really too special here. You don't even know what stats it has. And then we have placeholder candy bag, which looks like this. I do want to see what this looks like, because I was a little interested on what it would look like. It looks like that, so nothing too interesting there. No new currencies. Items, I think there were some new morphs. Yeah, so we do have a few new morphs. We have the Morph Marble Moth Bud. I believe it was changed to be named Moth Bud, although I'm probably wrong on that. We also have the Shadow Ghost Morph Marble right here. We have the Morph Marble Pump Cube, which is just the house item for the pumpkin. Then we have a Gloomkin Morph Marble, which just looks like Gloomkin. And then we have the Plushkin Morph Marble. I think all of these are only a minute long as well. This one's 10. These two are 1 minute. This one's 10, and then the Moth Bud is 10. I don't think any buddies were added to the game. Yeah. This is where some of the items could start to get a little glitchy. So I'm going to start with the hats first, because I do know that these probably don't crash the game. Actually, there were no hats added. I don't think the outfits crash the game, so we're gonna look at those first. So we get the Franken jacket right here. So this does a defense bonus of 103. So not too great. It says leather and metal jacket that protects from all forms of weather. So this is what it looks like. It looks pretty nice. We also have the Tutan Raw bandages, I think that's supposed to be. Tutan, that's probably supposed to be. And it says ceremonial bandages that wrap the body softly but firmly. And this has a defense bonus of 171. And then we have the Fall Court Cape, which I think this is supposed to go with this mask. So this says elegant attire in the fairy court to impress the other attendees. So yeah, this outfit probably is the coolest out of the ones that we have. I think this is where it's going to start getting a little glitchy. So we're going to look at some of the ones that were added. We're not going to be able to see the icons for them, I believe. Yeah, so the Death Scythe, I believe, was the first one that was added. And this says, so sharp it can cut through even the shadows themselves, and it says, and it has a power of 240, and it does Grim Burst. And I don't know why it has a heart here. That might already be in the game, I'm not 100% sure. We have the Autumn Lance right here, and this does Autumn Gust. It has power bonus of 255, and it says a magical lance given to the guard to watch over the Autumn King's court. We have the Festival Master Broom, which does Cryptic Rite and has power bonus of 180. And it says mystical broom filled with Pumpkin Fest magic, which belonged to the wizard who started festivals. And then we also have the Luminite Soft Paw down here, which does Cold Snap, has a power bonus of 44. And its description is a very soft and fluffy wand in the shape of a furry Luminite paw. Now, we do have some relics as well. We're not going to be able to see the icons for these either, and I actually need to hack these onto the account. Alright, so I think we have just a few. Actually, we have a lot of relics here. So we have the Franken relic, which says a relic oozing conductive fluid and metallic bolts. And this does Vulgar Echo, which I think is a new spell. We have the Tutton Raw Relic, which does Bombing Ritual, which I think might also be a new spell. And this says, this sacred scarab brings dark healing to the wearer's fingertips. We have the Spectre Relic, which does Dark Sepure, or why did I read that so terribly? Despair. And that says, Reapers rejoice as all others fall into despair. We have the Pumpkin Head Relic. Some of these relics, I don't think the icons are actually in the game yet, by the way. We do have the Dark Forces assail all when the pumpkins our eyes go out, and this does lights out. What I mean is that, like, I haven't seen a Scarecrow relic inside of the assets. I don't think that it is actually inside of the assets yet, so maybe we'll see those in a day or two. This is the Scarecrow relic, which says a swirling dance of sickles and straw pummel foes, and this does Harvest Dance, which is probably also another new spell. We have the Fall Court relic, which does Trap of Thorns, and this says Fancy relic worn by fairies of noble blood that summon defensive thorns. And then we have the Luminite relic, which does Frosty Paws, which is probably also a new spell. And it says Frosty Paws chill to the bone one's opponents. And then moving on to the boots, we're not going to be able to see any of these icons as well. But we have the Frankenstompers right here, which do a dodge bonus of 103. And it says thick boots made of rubber and leather to stomp around in. We have the Tutton Raw Wraps, which has a damage bonus of 171, and this says foot wrappings that are with gems and gold for shuffling around pyramids. We have the Spectre Crack Cows, which does a dodge bonus of 240, and it says pointy-toed shoes that make you whistle while you walk. We have the Pumpkin Head Pumps, which I don't think I've seen these icons yet. And this has a dodge bonus of 200. It says fancy shoes resembling those worn by the Pumpkin Lord. We have the Scarecrow Scruffies with a dodge bonus of 112, which says basic footwear of those working the fields of gold. And we have the Fall Court Boots, which does a dodge bonus of 255 and says leather boots of the highest quality for the fairy lords and ladies. And then we have the Luminite Paws with a dodge bonus of 44, and it says soft paws that don't sink in deep snow and keep your toes toasty. So those are all the items. We do have 2 pets as well. I do need to reload the page so that we can actually see them though. Alright, so here is the first one. This is Crow Lord. It is a legendary. It's Shadow. This is an evolution of, I can't even remember his name, Scarecrow. So this has a health of 1980, a power of 1720, a dodge of 1460, a defense of 1040, and an order of 127, which I think is pretty good. And its description is, instead of scaring away birds, Crow Lords gather them into enormous flocks and fly around with them, darkening the sky. So this does Swipe, Darkness, Bloom Surge, and Umbral Blast. And then the other pet that we have is like Viper or something. It's an evolution of Viper Cuffs, and it is down here. I'm going to have to evolve this because for some reason I can't hack it onto my account. But this is an evolution of Asphere, and this is what it looks like. It's called Rattle Thing, and it looks pretty cool. So here it is, and we are going to go ahead and check it out. So this is a Plants type legendary. Its health is 2810, power of 1300, dodge of 1090, defense of 1400, and an order of 129. And its description is, rattle fangs get their name from the peculiar sound their snakes make as they glide through the jungle canopies in search of prey. So these spells are Leaf Burst, Shrub Assault, Bloodgeon, and Strangling Vine. So those are the 2 pets that were added today. Now we do have some leaks that we are going to look at, so let's go ahead and check them out. Okay, so here is the first one. This is called UI Pumpkin Fest. This is an updated version of it. I believe that we can see well, this is what it does look like now. We can't actually see what it used to look like. But you can see that up here we have this background, which looks pretty cool for the UI. Up here we have like a jack-o'-lantern with some candy in it. We have some of the previous rewards. I'm not sure if any of these are going to be rewards this time around. I do hope that this pumpkin here does turn out to be a buddy, although I don't think it will be. We do have this new candy corn icon right here, which isn't going to be an actual icon inside of the game. And then right here, we can see a few of the quests that we're going to have to do. We're going to have to do 50 battles, which will give us a viper or an asp sphere. And then we can do 10 battles that looks to be, and we will get a viper cuff. So I don't know if this is only going to be 20 days long, because that's what it says on here. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's a little longer. But yeah, that's what it says there. Down here, none of this stuff is too important, although maybe we're going to have some member-only quests. I'm not really sure on that. And then here, this is the most interesting thing out of any leak that we have today, in my opinion. So, this says, all wizards work together to collect candy corn. And it says 0 out of 5 million. You've added 34. So, it looks like this is going to be a community project. We're going to have to get 5 million candy corn as a total in order for us to get the rewards. I don't know what's going to happen if we don't get the rewards, but we'll maybe see. Hopefully not, though. So, yeah, that is what I think is the most interesting part of it. It's not really in your control on getting any of the rewards, it sort of feels like. But let's go ahead and check out some of the other leaks. So this is the UI for Starlight Festival. It got a new background that we can see right here. That's really the only thing that was added. It was actually removed today, so I'm not sure what they're doing with that. With this UI, they also removed this background. This is what it looks like now, so I don't know what they're doing with that. Hopefully they do keep the background, because I think that it looks very cool. Now, moving on to our next, we have Bucket 0. So this is just what the bucket's going to look like when probably 0 questions have, or 0 candy corn has been collected. Then we have Bucket 3. This is what it will look like when it's full. We'll get into a little bit on why this bucket is important a little later. There's some like lore that we can look at. So we do have UI co-op bucket. So yeah, this is just to say this is going to be a co-op. As I said, I really hope this is a buddy, because it looks very cool. Moving on to our next one, we have Pumpkin Fest NPC 1. I don't know if these are actually going to be NPCs that we see walking around in-game. But you can see that there is a new hairstyle. I showed this in a video a couple days ago, I believe. But this is what the hairstyle is actually going to look like on a wizard, and you can see the new outfit as well. We also have this other NPC, which is called Pumpkin Fest NPC 2. This is with the Luminite gear on, which we haven't really gotten to see. And then we have the Pumpkin Fest NPC 3, which this one looks pretty cool. This is pretty much a Frankenstein, and this hair color, or this hair style will be in the game. I think the hair color is also new. I think that this hair color is also new. And then we have just background pumpkin. This is what the background is going to look like. This was added today, which gives a little hope that this background is still going to be used in the game, because as I said, I think that it looks very cool. We also have icon cutscene. So I guess you can like replay cutscenes. Hopefully that would be pretty cool. We have Pumpkin Co-op Story 1. So this is sort of where we get into a little bit of the lore. So we have Hollow Jack right here. He's in front of a jack-o'-lantern full of candy. And then the second slide is Pumpkin Co-op Story 2, which seems to be a candy corn celebrating that the jack-o'-lantern is full. And then we have Pumpkin Co-op Story 3, which is like, I guess the Hollow Jack ate all of the candy or something like that. That's sort of what the lore is supposed to be. And then we have just Pumpkin Icon. This looks like a pretty cool icon. This is going to be used in game a little bit, although I'm not really sure where. We have just UI Co-op Bucket. I don't know why they added 2 of these, which, yeah. And then we have Wizard Watch Pumpkin End of Festival currency. So just like Starlight Festival, you are going to have to spend up all your currency or it will get transferred into gold, which I don't even think I've gotten that gold yet. And you can see the Pumpkin Fest icon is up here, so this is like one of the only places that it's actually going to be. And then this will say, yeah, your candy corn got turned into gold. So moving on to some of the stuff into the data, this stuff has to do with the lore of Pumpkin Fest. So this is Dialogue Spinner 1. Hello, would you like to spin the festival wheel? And want to spend magic coin to spin the festival wheel. So just like in Starlight Festival Pumpkin Fest, you are going to be able to spin the wheel more times if you spend magic coin. Then we have down here, Dialogue Candy Corn Intro 1. Hollow Jack, stop eating the pumpkins. If you keep this up, you'll ruin Pumpkin Fest. So that is sort of the storyline. And then it says Dialogue Candy Corn Intro 2. Hollow Jack is eating the festival decorations. There is one way to stop him, but we'll need your help. Wizards, let's work together to make a giant pile of candy corn, fill the bucket, and we'll give it to Hollow Jack. Battle monsters to collect candy corn. You can also get extra candy from battling Hollow Jack. Stay spooky. And then this is Hollow Jack talking. He's a little weird. So it says, I am hungry. Next time I will eat everything. Boogie. And then this is just Hollow Jack's NPC name. And then it says Dialogue Candy Corn Co-op Quest 1. Fantastic, Wizard. Look how much candy corn you've collected. Let's see if my plan works. That was a monster pile of candy corn. How much more can you possibly eat? So I think that's Hollow Jack just eats all the candy corn. It doesn't really tell us that in here, but it's sort of what it implies. And Hollow Jack says, yummy, more candy, burp. And then we go down here. It says, this time we got even more. It's going to work. I feel it in my jelly. And then Hollow Jack says, ooh, toot noise, yum, more. So yeah, as I said, Hollow Jack is kind of weird. Candy Corn says, did he just toot? And then she says, he, keep collecting more, keep collecting everyone. The next one will be the biggest yet. And then Hollow Jack appears in Quest 3 and says, I want more candy, nom 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 nom, burp. And then Hollow Jack says, ooh, too much candy, my tummy hurts, must take a nap. And then Candy Corn says, I wonder what made him go crazy. Anyways, enjoy the rest of the festival and stop by the shop for spooky goods. It's supposed to be the Puppet Master that is making Hollow Jack go crazy, I believe. So it kind of sounds like we're not going to be seeing the Puppet Master inside of Pumpkin Fest at all, which I guess is sort of fine. It says Dialogue Candy Corn Co-op Quest 3. Pumpkin Fest is saved thanks to all wizards working together. We won't be seeing Hollow Jack anytime soon. And then, I'm not sure what this stuff is supposed to be. This is about like merges and like requirements and stuff. It says increase merge rank to continue progress. Level button, next level blank. Merge level requirement tooltip description. Reach pet level blank to unlock merge. And that sort of makes it seem like you're going to have to be on a certain level to be able to merge a pet. And then we have continue playing in blank to level up. And then the final few things we have: complete co-op goals, which I guess that was already added. Dialogue Candy Corn Shop open. Battle monsters to collect candy corn. You can also get extra candy from battling Hollow Jack. Stay spooky. So yeah, that was everything that was added. Pumpkin Fest looks like it's going to be pretty good this year. So that is going to go ahead and end the video. Let me know what you guys think of these leaks in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and bye.